All right. Um, it's so disgusting to having to deal with this, but it's what they do. You see, right now around me, you see a bunch of like pictures and videos, and that's because you understand that the people involved in this do these things. You see that picture at the bottom? This is a picture of I was on a call, right? And it's funny. It's not funny, but it's disturbing actually to see these people trying to get you to subscribe to these things, using their own children. We're on a call and I can see this kid just like trying to be seen. Like she's just like literally like step, and you can see she's like, kids are kids, so they're not gonna do things in a settled way, right? You can see she's just like really trying to position herself to be seen. It's like behind her mother, whoever this person is to her, like trying. She's like a 7-year-old kid, like trying to be seen, and I'm like, oh my goodness, oh that's so pathetic. Because at this point, you understand that, as you're gonna hear around here, that there's a systematic tactic to manipulate people in these petty ways. It's meant to break you down, right? Matter of fact, on this side, you see me just reacting because I was on the call, and I'm like, oh my god, and I stop. I try to take a picture of that. You see that in real time. In real time, you see it. My reaction, it was disturbing, and actually, awkwardly enough, I left my audio on, so they probably heard me say something like respond this way, right? And that's the things they do. Like they do these things, and I reacted like, oh my god, right? Because I couldn't believe that they literally will bring their own children, knowing that this is the reaction they're gonna force me to experience. It's disgusting. Like they use pedophilia as if it's just like just no, you guys are pedophiles in low life. There's nothing fierce about it. It's disgusting. On top of that, you're gonna see or further the issues with this pedophilia, the pedophilia being an issue in these agencies. And so that's why they will use this pedophilia type of torment as a systematic tactic to break people down. But the people in charge, bunch of pedophiles. So you see this woman having her child, or whoever's child it is, to come to be seen so they can do these things. And you have your coworkers, and I should add a picture saying, you're going to be pegged, you're going to be tortured, you're going to be raped, you're going to be... I'm like, listen, look at you. Whatever's going to happen to me and then die is better than living your life and then die. There's dignity, man. Like, how can I not find dignity in this? To try to make somebody look at a child so they can do these pedophilia things they're renowned to be doing from entities with a bunch of pedophiles in them, and try to delude myself. Oh my god, going to kill, going to catch you. Going, okay, so what does that? Does it stop the fact that you guys are in a program that's full of a program that does this pedophilia type of torture, controlled and ran by entities filled with pedophiles? While this trash actually torture children. Listen to the testimony of Mariana. What should they do to this 7-year-old kid that's about the same age as this girl? Torturing them, suffocating her. She's autistic on top of that. Doing that to little kids like at that age and torturing them. And by the way, you hear her saying the same thing about being tortured in a pedophile way. So this is systematic. And hearing your coworkers tell, they're going to sue. Mind you, they tell me I'm going to be sued. I'm barely, just got out of entry-level position. So I'm like, please do. Add more blessing to what's happening. It's just humiliation. And then they're, our monster's going to cut you up. It's like, oh my gosh. This is a theater, because all you hear here about how they hurt kids, how they do the pedophilia type of torture, how they're willing to use their own children to do these disturbing things. And I'm supposed to subscribe to it. But when I was making this thing together, I took the picture and I'm looking at the kid, and immediately they tried to get me into a weird zone, but thankfully they didn't turn up the stimulations, and they started slamming their doors. Like, oh my gosh, it's so disgusting. It's so sad, because they want me to be like, oh my gosh, it's me. I was like, if I was normal, I'd look at this is a goofy little kid. But me now with these nasty things they make me experience is just disgusting. They gave me stimulations and disturbing sensations. So now I'm like, I detest seeing children. To me, it's just like disgustingness, because of how they make me react to this. And it's nasty. And that's the things they do. And they try to gaslight you. I will continuously talk about this. I will not let them escape. And then I'll be like, look at them. Look, listen to these people around. When I'm done talking, listen to them talking. Is there a pattern here of some kind of disturbing pedophilia stimulations? Yes. There's obvious patterns. Almost all target individuals are forced to get some kind of pedophilia type of tormenting. They try to go all up, but you look at this kid for a little too long when I was doing this put together thing. You hear this bottom feeders that work for pedophiles in these hallways. Try to make me subscribe to this. You look too, it's so sad. You know, they kind of made me like zone in for a second. But I'm like, as long as I don't get the stimulation they force me to have, it's okay. I was surprised, like, oh wow, I didn't get the reaction that they forced me to have usually. You hear maybe my computer making noise, try to kind of counter this reality. But that's the things they do. These people specialize in manipulating people to react in these ways. They call it an art. And they do all this weird noise, kind of ping, 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 like you hear right now it's my computer, and then you hear them slamming the trash, but this is a compromised trash. I'm sorry, I cannot respect a man or woman who are willing to bring their children in. And she was obviously, the first time especially, she was just like really like, it was obviously told that she should be like moving, okay, move right, try to like position herself in the camera, and she's like, and me, you see me react on here. I'm like, oh, whoa, and I try to take a picture before so I can make a video. I'm not gonna let them live the fantasy. And they're like, oh, they're prepared to kill. I was like, I know this is a government-led program, and I know you guys do the pedophilia type of torture. Listen to all this. Of course they do the pedophilia type of torture. It's like rot in hell. I was like, I'd rather rot in hell than live in the fantasy. Of course I don't. I don't want to be laying on the floor starving to death. But if I had to live this starving death, that's what they said is going to happen to me. Instead of living the way these people live, and they try to like unify and find strength in that together. Being trashed together feels better. Now I'd rather not be trashed and be by myself starving and being trashed than being a trash low life that works for pedophiles that force people to have these disturbing experiences for children. It's what they do. And I'll never subscribe to this. I'm thankful at least I was able to take a picture. I was like, at first it was like, oh no, please let me take a picture of this so I can talk about it. Thank you. Even now they try to have this back and forth because like when I was getting this ready, I looked at the picture, and for some reason I kind of zoned for a second, but I didn't get no stimulation. I was like, what? Thank God. This is like, whatever. As long as I don't get that, I'm okay. As long as they don't force me to experience this thing, whatever, it's making me zone out, zone in, whatever. But if I don't get stimulation, whatever. Because the sad part is, if I was me, normally it happened, I'll be like laughing and I'd say, hey, how you doing? Like, but now it's like, ugh. You see the reaction? You see that reaction? That's real time with my surveillance camera. And that's how I'm going to be reacting to kids. Kids, now, it's the most disgusting things. I'm more scared of children than people who are this monster they're talking about. It's disgusting. This is what they do. I'd rather get cut up in pieces than having to deal with this nasty. And this pedophiles, this slow life, as they try to, like, as I move, when I talk, I kind of move my leg and they try to create some, like, friction and create some stimulation. So it's disgusting. They are low lives. So, please, do you see this person? This is a coworker. They forced me to experience these things. And they're like, it's war. It's not war. You hear this? This woman seeing her child as young as this being tortured. Then you find out, there's a bunch of pedophiles in these agencies contracting this low level. Of course, I know these people in front making those campaigns, not just the bottom feeder. I know this person here is not what she's being guided to be doing this. There's a system, there's a protocol that they follow. Right? I don't see her as like, oh my gosh, well, she came up with her own. No, of course. There's a way to do things in this program, in these agencies are running those programs. And pedophilia type of torture is what they do. And it's like, oh, we caught you. It's like, oh, okay, here, catch this. Listen to this. Listen to this person. Watch my reaction. Listen to all these people. Oh, you think I'm going to subscribe to this? No. This low life pedophiles have tried to normalizing these things as like, oh, we're daring. Like try to make it fierce, like femme fatalish. The same people that torture children and suffocate them. They're trash. The only winner I'm seeing right now is the employee who put me in this program because he has embarrassed these people. He has humiliated these people because these people who put me here are very, very conservative. This trash here, I try to play this like a daring fan pedals of progressive BS. You just trash contracted. Matter of fact, you might even made yourself look even worse. That thing's might even. It's so sad. But watch, listen to all this testimony and think that this is happening to me naturally. Me experiencing when I look at this kid like that, it's on the corner. The kid on the corner, that's, yeah. It's like this all the time. And they try to be, no, it's you when you were a kid. And they try to listen to matching to this. To all my target individuals, stay strong because you know justice will be done.
One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in this, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm, nearly suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point, repeatedly. Especially the sneezing, because the V2K says it's like an orgasm, so they make people around me sneeze excessively to threaten more sexual assaults. I am currently a speech-language pathologist working, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry, making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, sorry.
I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods, pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes. It also includes videos of violence.
I just can't take this whole thing into account so much. I make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know.
Also a form of sensory deprivation which will be discussed later. Days and weeks lose their meaning. 6. Sexually disturbing tailored pornography. The summary of the Senate torture report disclosed the disgusting revelations that in the secret torture derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And vice versa is true.
Voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent.
Involving children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that two officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre and so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
Year-old, he was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually gives, and like you said, only one actually served any jail time for this. One employee had sexual contact. This is one employee of the CIA had sexual contact with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that you mentioned that. Posing as a child, he had his contract revoked. One CIA staffer was charged with child sexual crimes, and the employee was also under investigation.
Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl I also observed her gasp. For example, they make people around me burp, hiccup. She usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite repeatedly. Especially the sneezing, because the V2K says it's like an orgasm, so they make people around me sneeze excessively to threaten more sexual assaults. I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me, as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions, despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing "ow"